What is up? My name is Motorius. Welcome back to a very exciting video. Today I'm going to be recapping and breaking down exactly what happened in the Overwatch League Season 2 Stage 2 playoffs. We had some great games along the road. We had an insane finals. So let's get down to business and let's start with the first game, which was the Shanghai Dragons against the San Francisco Shock. It was clear that the San Francisco Shock were the heavy favorite coming into this match. They had a perfect stage winning 7 matches in a row, and not only that, they had a golden stage of winning every single match 4-0. The San Francisco Shock have set their record for the longest map win streaks in the regular season of Overwatch League history at 28. Guys, let this sink in. They have won 28 maps in a row. They have truly had a perfect stage, and that is why they were the heavy favorites coming into this match. However, they are facing the Shanghai Dragons, who themselves have made history in their own franchise. It is the first time the Shanghai Dragons have appeared in the playoffs. How do they do? How did they match up with one of the best teams in Overwatch? Let's break down the maps right now. The first map of the series came down to the wire. It was on Oasis, and guess what? The Shanghai Dragons beat the San Francisco Shock in the first map, ending the streak at 28. This was crazy. The crowd was going nuts. The casters were screaming. The streak is officially over, and Shanghai strikes first blood, getting the first map under their belt, 1-0. Second map, Eichenwald, San Francisco Shock answers back and win it 3-2. The third map was played on Paris. The Shock take that 4-2. And on the last map, it was played on Rialto. The Shock take it 3-1, making the overall score of the series 3-1 in favor of the San Francisco Shock. Now, unfortunately for Shanghai Dragons, they did not beat the San Francisco Shock, but if you are the Dragons, you are relatively happy with your performance. You went toe-to-toe with the San Francisco Shock, who are one of the best teams in Overwatch right now. Luffy and Koma are doing amazing as a support duo. You have a really good core with Ding, Gamsu, and DM, especially Ding on his Sombra. I can't stress this enough. His Sombra play has been amazing, and it actually forced San Francisco to pull out a Sombra of their own. Gamsu and DM. Gamsu's Reinhardt is really insane right now. He really sets a tone with the aggression. DM Zarya is actually one of the best in the league and one of the most underrated. If you check out DM Zarya's stats on the Overwatch League, he's actually one of the top Zaryas in the league. Youngjin's also a great flex support. So this Shanghai Dragons team have a lot of potential, and they should be proud with their performance. Now, in regards to the San Francisco Shock, they all played amazing and they all stepped up. Rascal, Sinatra, Super, Violet, Moth, Geohoben, they all played great. I thought Sinatra could have been player of the match, but it actually went to Moth. Now, Moth is a Lucio player for the San Francisco Shock, and the reason why he was the player of the match was he had such an impact throughout the series on Lucio. He had a lot of environmental kills, I think about 4, and what's great about Moth is he's not a passive Lucio. He's really aggressive. He gets in the face of the Shanghai Dragons, their support players. He adds that pressure, and that pressure is consistent with the San Francisco Shock and really complements their play as the aggressive team. Now, if you look at Moth's stats, he had 22,000 damage on Lucio, 25,000 healing, 16 final blows, 4 boop kills, 112 offensive assists. That's a lot right now, and 21 deaths. Moth played great, but everybody from San Francisco really stepped it up, and they deserve this win, and they will move on to the semifinals. Let's go to the next match, and we have the Hangzhou Spark against the London Spitfire. Now, this was an interesting match. These guys played before, and Hangzhou Spark actually lost to the London Spitfire 3-1. This match would be a chance for the Spark to redeem that loss. Gu Shui against Jester with the Winston battle. They are both great individually mechanical Winstons. You have the battle of Zarya's, Gatsby, and Prophet. These two are going to go at it. Obviously, Prophet being one of the best players in the league. And then we look at his stats through his Overwatch career. He has probably some of the best stats we've ever seen in the league itself. But let's go over the matches. What exactly went down on these maps? So on Oasis, the first map, London Spitfire strikes first, winning it 2-1. Then we go to Blizzard World, and Hangzhou Spark wiped the floor with the London Spitfire 3-0. London Spitfire just couldn't take that point A on Blizzard World. They had no idea what they were doing. They looked completely lost. But then we go to Hanamura. Same thing happened. The Spark are very good on defense. They hold the Spitfire back on point A, and win it 1-0. And then we go to Watch Point Gibraltar, and again the Spark defense withstands the pressure of the London Spitfire, and they win it 1-0. Now in total, the Spark takes the series 3-1. Now if you look at the scores, the London Spitfire only scored 2 points in the entire series, and that was on the map they won. On the map 2, map 3, map 4, they had 0 points throughout those maps. The Spark had a great defensive plan throughout the entire series. They were neutralizing people like Jester, Prophet, and Fury. The London Spitfire just did not look sharp. They just didn't look like they were ready for this match. I don't know how well they prepared against the Spark, but the Spark really stepped up. Now, who specifically shined for the Spark? Who was the player of the match? And the player of the match was none other than Jester's counterpart, Gushue, the tank for the Spark. He played Reinhardt and he played insane. He had 22,000 damage done, 14 final blows, 6 Earth Shatter kills, 17 Earth Shatter stuns, 4 charge kills, and 9 deaths. Now you have to understand he was playing Rein and he was playing Winston, but his Reinhardt shined because his defensive pressure was what set the tone for the Spark's defense throughout the series. He led the team and controlled the flow through his positioning and through these chokes that would funnel in the London Spitfire and eventually trap them and overbear them with their aggressive playstyle. So hands down, the Spark beat the London Spitfire 3-1 in a complete upset, because the Spitfire was the 2nd seed, the Spark was the 7th seed, and also the Spark, to my knowledge, have never beaten the Spitfire. In the last match they played, the Spitfire have beat the Spark 3-1, and now the Spark redeemed themselves in the playoffs where it matters, 3-1 over the London Spitfire, and they move on to the semifinals. Now on the second day of the Stage 2 playoffs, we had 2 amazing teams go at it, and it was the New York Excelsior against the Los Angeles Gladiators. Both the New York Excelsior and the LA Gladiators had great stages. They've only lost to one team the entire stage. The Gladiators had a great run going 6-0, but then losing their last match, and then the New York Excelsior obviously losing to the Atlanta Reign twice. So both teams did have some hiccups down the road, but at the end of the day, they had great stages. Now, what went down in the series? How did it play out? Let's go over each individual map. The first map was played on Lijiang Tower, and New York swept Los Angeles 2-0, taking that first map. The second map was really close. It was played on Kings Row, and the New York Excelsior take that 3-2. And on the last map, it was Temple of Anubis. New York Excelsior take it 2-1, taking the series 3-0. Now, even though the Gladiators had a higher seed than the New York Excelsior, many people wrote the LA Gladiators off, saying that they had an easy schedule, way easier than the New York Excelsior. So some people didn't actually believe that LA was that team that they were hyped up to be. And in this match, the New York Excelsior swept them, going 3-0, proving that they can still compete at the top. The San Francisco Shock and the Vancouver Titans seem to have taken over the league, but New York Excelsior still has the potential to beat some of those teams and return to their former glory days. Now, who went off in the match for New York? The player of the match was Mano the Reinhardt. Now, we see Reinhardts really bring their squad together and really set the tone for the match. And that's exactly what Mano did. He was really aggressive. He knew exactly when to peek. He knew exactly when to put the shield up. He knew exactly when to fall back. He really brought New York Excelsior together and really put the damage on LA. Now let's look over his stats. He had 34,000 hero damage done, 21 final blows, 34 Earth Shatter stuns, 10 charge kills, and 70 eliminations on Reinhardt, guys. That is an insane stat. Congrats to Mano. He played great, and he was one of the main reasons why New York Excelsior advanced to the next round. And what's funny about Mano is many people said that he was one of the weak links for the New York Excelsior. Well, he proved his worth, and he really shut his critics up. In the next match of the day, we had the reigning Stage 1 champions of the Overwatch League, the Vancouver Titans, facing against the Dallas Fuel. Now, clearly the Vancouver Titans are the heavy favorite, and not without reason. The Vancouver Titans have never lost in the Overwatch League. Yes, since their debut, they have never lost a match coming into this series. The Dallas Fuel had a really rough Season 1, but Season 2, they added some players, they got coaches like Arrow, and they have really improved immensely. The culture of the Dallas Fuel is really a culture of confidence, and they really believe that they could be the first team in Overwatch League history to beat the Vancouver Titans. So So how did the match play out? Well, I'm sorry, Dallas Fuel fans, it was a complete stomp. The Titans really asserted their dominance and proved why they are so good. On the first map, Oasis, the Vancouver Titans sweep the Dallas Fuel 2-0. On the second map of Kings Row, the Vancouver Titans beat them 3-2, and on the third and last map, the Vancouver Titans defense holds strong and they win 1-0. Now, the Vancouver Titans have such a methodical approach going into their game plan and execution. You have Siomensu, a great Zarya, one of the best Zaryas in the league. You have Bumper playing that Rein. Haxel has been an amazing flex support going from that Genji DPS role to the Brigitte. His transition has been amazing. Slime and Twilight, amazing support duos, and Janu is just Janu. He is great on Diva. He is great on all the heroes that he plays. Even Sombra he kind of pulls out. So let's talk about the match. Who was the player of the match for the Vancouver Titans? It was Bumper. I've been hyping up Bumper for so long now, and the reason why I hype him up is he's so good, but he's too good to the point where people just think that if he doesn't do amazing, then he lacked in performance. However, his average days, he is still one of the best Ryans in the game, and he went off in this match. Let's go over his statistics. He had 18,000 damage done on Reinhardt, 10 final blows, 3 charge kills, 15 earth shatter stuns, and 32 eliminations. Bumper has an interesting stat where he actually has the most damage taken as a Rein, and this shows all the resources and the peel he gets from his teammates. He gets that Zarya bubble, he gets the Harmony Orb from Zenyatta. He really is a distraction for his team. So Siomensu, Haxel, all these DPS players should go in for the kill once he does all that damage. People think that Super is the best Reinhardt in the game, but in my opinion, it is still very close, but I gotta give it to Bumper. I think he's the best Reinhardt in the league right now, and in this match, he proved it. That's all for that match. The Vancouver Titans beat the Dallas Fuel 3-0. Moving on to the semifinals, the Final Four. So in the Final Four, we have the Spark against the Shock and the New York Excelsior against the Vancouver Titans. And in that second match, New York versus Vancouver, many people wanted to see this match in Stage 1. It was so appealing. It was like the battle of the two monsters. San Francisco Shock right now is probably one of the best teams in the league, top 2. But the New York Excelsior in Stage 1 was considered that team. So people wanted to see how the New York Excelsior and the Vancouver Titans would square up. Now that the New York Excelsior actually lost to the Seoul Dynasty in the playoffs, and then they lost to Atlanta Reign twice, they don't look too immortal right now. Maybe the match isn't as appealing as Stage 1. However, people want to see this matchup, and it occurred. So let's go over the games first. Let's go over the first game though. The Spark versus the Shock. The San Francisco Shock picked up from where they left off in the Stage 2 regular season by sweeping the Hangzhou Spark 4-0. In Busan, the first map, San Francisco Shock takes it 2-0. Blizzard World, San Francisco Shock takes it 3-0. Hanamura, San Francisco Shock takes it 1-0. And on the last map of Watchpoint Gibraltar, yes, it is first 4 to win because we are playing in the semifinals of the playoffs, and the San Francisco Shock take Watchpoint Gibraltar 4-3. Honestly, the Spark, they had a great run, but the San Francisco Shock is just too good. They completely embarrassed the Spark, but it's not really embarrassing if you put the context together. The San Francisco Shock have been doing this to team time and time again. Their run is historic, and they've only lost one map up until this point, and that was the Shanghai Dragons in playoffs. However, if we take that match out, they have been undefeated, a perfect golden stage, and they showed why they are so good against the Hangzhou Spark. Now, who was the player of the match for the San Francisco Shock? In the last playoff match against Shanghai, it was Super. In this match, it was none other than Sinatra, the Zarya player for the Shock. He is completely insane. I am so proud of Sinatra. He is really becoming and evolving as this leader for the San Francisco Shock. Let's look at his stats. He had 60,000 hero damage done on Zarya, 32 final blows, 30 Graviton Surge kills, and in this match, he actually had like a 22-second Graviton. He built up his Grav in 22 seconds. His average energy was 69%, almost 70% average energy. That's almost unheard of. 93 eliminations and 7 deaths. Look at the elimination to death ratio. 93 elims, guys. Sinatra is really completely just popping off in this playoff run. And not just a playoff run, he is popping off this entire stage. He is probably one of the main aspects and the main reasons, or one of the main contributors for the Shock's dynasty run. They are playing insane, and Sinatraa is really doing great. That's all for that series. The San Francisco Shock take it 4-0 against the Spark. On to the last match of the semifinals, we have the match that many people were excited about, the New York Excelsior against the Vancouver Titans. How will this play out? Let's go over the maps. The first map was played on Busan. The Vancouver Titans take it 2-1, striking first blood and instilling fear to the New York Excelsior. Well, the New York Excelsior answered back on Blizzard World, taking that map 3-1. Hanamura was the third map. The Vancouver Titans take it in a very close match going to OT, 3-2. Rialto was the fourth map. Vancouver Titans take it 3-2, and New York Excelsior have to win out to equalize the series and win it. But the Vancouver Titans take map 5, Lijiang Tower, 2-1. Now, not that many people were surprised of the result. Many Overwatch League fans still thought the Vancouver Titans were going to take it because of their perfect record, because there is really no blueprint to look at when you look at how to beat the Vancouver Titans. They are literally undefeated. So how do you beat this team? New York Excelsior, with the help of Jonak, Manu, they really tried so hard, but Seo Mensu just shined in this match, and that is why he was given the MVP, or the player of the match, for the Vancouver Titans. Him and Sinatraa are just two Zaryas in the league that are dominating right now. He had 87,000 damage, 42 final blows, 48 Graviton Surge kills. Remember, Sinatraa had it in the 30s. Well, Seo Mensu almost had 50 Graviton Surge kills, 67% average energy, again up there. And then we have 109 eliminations and 23 deaths. Seo Mensu really put on a show against the New York Excelsior, and that is why they have a ticket to the finals. They set up a rematch of the Stage 1 finals. We have the San Francisco Shock against the Vancouver Titans, the battle of redemption. Now, I have a feeling these two squads are creating a rivalry. They have each created a dynasty in their own right, one being undefeated and never lost in the Overwatch League, the other, the San Francisco Shock, having a perfect stage, not even losing a map, going on a tear, trying to prove a message that they want to return to the finals, and they did. This is their chance to redeem themselves from Stage 1. Can they beat Vancouver? Let's go over the finals right now. The first map was played on Lijiang Tower, and the San Francisco Shock take it 2-0. They start off and they are hyped up because they draw first blood, and that first map is really important going into a series like this. It sets the tone, it sets the confidence, it kind of lowers your anxiety levels down. I'm speaking from experience. Winning that first match really puts your heart at rest, but you cannot let up because it is a marathon, not a race. So let's go over the second map. We have Kings Row, and the Vancouver Titans answer back with that championship mentality, that championship DNA, adapting to their adversity. They win it 5-4. On Paris, the Vancouver Titans have this weird comp with no tank and just a bunch of DPS, and they actually surprise the Shock, and they take it 1-0. Shock can't score a point on Paris. That's very unprecedented by them, which shows what Vancouver Titans were able to bring up with and execute their strategic game plan there. Let's go over to the next map. We have Watchpoint Gibraltar. It's time for San Francisco to answer back, and do they? Yes, they do. They answer back, winning it 4-3. Now is the time for them to win out, because if Vancouver wins another map, they are going to be one game away from losing again. So right now the series is tied 2-2. Going over to map 5, Oasis, the San Francisco Shock take it 2-0, and on control maps, the San Francisco Shock don't really do that good in the past compared to Vancouver. You would think that Vancouver is the better King of the Hill team. However, the San Francisco Shock take Oasis, they take Lijiang, and what happens on map 6, the final map, Blizzard World, the San Francisco Shock take it 2-1 in an absolute thriller of the series. It was an absolute slugfest. Both teams were popping off, but San Francisco managed to redeem themselves. They were the victors on this day, and they gave Vancouver Titans their first ever loss in Overwatch League history. It was such a sight to watch. You have to see it. If you really want to watch this match but you don't have the time, you should look at ESTN's highlights. We have highlights of all the games for you guys here. Hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the latest Overwatch news, recaps, breakdowns, analysis, highlight clips. This is a channel to subscribe to, and oh my gosh, the Overwatch League is popping off. It was insane to watch. If you guys want my thoughts, I think the Vancouver Titans and the San Francisco Shock are the two of the best teams we have ever watched in the Overwatch League history. In Stage 1, they've had an absolute Game 7 thriller of a series going down to the wire. In this case, the San Francisco Shock just adapted. They had a killer mentality of, we are going to go back to the finals and we are going to slaughter everybody in our way. And Vancouver Titans, I think they felt that. They got a little scared. They sensed that fear that the San Francisco Shock were coming. They were beating every team 4-0. And in this match, you see that Vancouver Titans actually made a lot of mistakes, and San Francisco, they adapted to those mistakes. And if you really want my opinion on the one thing that Vancouver Titans did wrong but San Francisco did right, it was ult management. The San Francisco Shock just got more out of their ults. Bumper, he missed a lot of shatters. Another thing that Vancouver Titans were doing, the support duo, they were double ulting at the same time. They would use their transcendence, they would use their beat, and that's just not good. You want to wait it out to have the most efficiency with the support ults, and that is why I think San Francisco Shock really came out on top. And let's shout out to the player of the match who really stepped up in the series, and it was none other than the support player on the Shock, Violet. He had 73,000 damage done on Zenyatta, 96,000 healing done, 33 final blows, 11 critical hits, 1 minute for his transcendence, and 33 deaths. But the thing I kind of want to focus on with Violet is that synergy he had with Sinatraa. Sinatraa would build up those grabs, and Violet would have those critical hits and pick those people off with the grabs. He played amazing. Everybody from the Shock played amazing, and this was a well-deserved match win for them. This was their first title under the San Francisco Shock banner, and they well deserve it. My name is Motorius, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This video is brought to you by ESTNN. Make sure you like the video. Have a great day, guys. Peace.